everybody, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. My name is Tom Tompkins. I'm the host and the founder of Vehicle Visionary. And once again, Red River Chevrolet in Bossier City, Louisiana has been kind enough to loan me a vehicle to tell you all about. This one happens to be a 2019 Chevrolet Cruze. This is the hatchback LT version that I happen to be reviewing today. And this particular one for the month of August is $6,000 off, as you can see by the sticker in the window. This is going to be the final year that GM will be producing the Chevrolet Cruze, so if you're interested in picking one up and want to know more about it, this is the video you need to watch. One of the benefits of the 2019 Chevrolet Cruze LT hatchback is that it's a great vehicle as a first vehicle for a teenager. It's good and safe. It has airbags, side airbags, the airbags for the driver and the passenger, and at knee level as well. So a lot of protection there, very safe car. And it's stylish, it looks nice. It's easy to drive and easy to get around with. Great gas mileage, and the price is very reasonable on these little Chevrolet Cruzes. And they look great, very stylish. Like the headlight design here, it looks good. It doesn't look like compacts did at one point, just kind of blah almost. I really like the way the headlights are designed, and everything just flows into the design of the front end. Nice large grille, reasonable amount of chrome, the Chevrolet emblem right here, and a lot of ability to get plenty of air through the grille to the 1.4 liter four-cylinder that is located underneath the hood. And now that I have the hood up on the Cruze, I can tell you about the 1.4 liter four-cylinder located underneath the hood. This particular motor is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. It makes 153 horsepower and 177 foot-pounds of torque. Great motor for a new driver to learn to drive with. It's not so much horsepower that it's going to get out from underneath them. It's going to keep them good and safe. And the gas mileage is great. 28 in the city and 38 on the highway. You can't beat that. So whether you're trying to get your teenager into a new vehicle, or you're looking for something yourself to drive around, you're going to college, or you just overall want to save money on gas, this is going to definitely do it for you. And moving on to the side of the Cruze, we're going to see 16-inch aluminum wheels all the way around, power folding and adjustable side view mirrors that also have blind spot detection built in, so that's on the driver and passenger side. I like that feature. Will keep you nice and safe, or whoever's driving this vehicle nice and safe when it comes to what's going on around them. You also have passive entry, so this little button right here, you can lock the front and rear doors or unlock the front and rear doors. So you lock all four doors pushing the button one time, and then if you push it twice, you will unlock the front and the rear doors as well. And this, again, I love the color on this particular Cruze. I'm partial to red, but I really like this. I think it really sets this vehicle off and makes it look a lot more sporty than it's probably intended to be, but that's a good thing. Some black trim around the windows, and then on the bottom of the windows you have chrome trim. I think that makes everything look really nice. So let's move on to the rear of the Cruze. Okay, we're moving on to the rear here. Again, nice design on the taillights. I like the way they look. I like the way they're very large and they fit the lines of the car. The design overall is really, really nice. I like that a lot. You've got the antenna on top for navigation and for your satellite radio. It does come with that option. You also have a spoiler here on the top. Now that's not just for looks or for aerodynamic purposes. It is actually meant to funnel dirt off over, I should say, the rear window here. So that's going to keep this window as clean as possible. Now when you're sitting still and dirt and debris is flying around and all that kind of stuff, yeah, this is going to get a little bit dirty. That's why you've got the wiper right here to help keep that clean. It is a hatchback. Underneath here, you can open the hatchback up. You've got folding rear seats if you want to increase your cargo space. There's already a little bit of cargo space back here, but you can let the seats down. There's a little lever that you pull on the outside of the 60-40 split seats in the back to let the seats down. The spare tire is also found underneath the carpet right here. You're just going to lift up on this panel right here, and there is your spare tire, and underneath that are all the tools for changing the tire. And here we are in the back seat of the Cruze. Nice and spacious for a compact. There's a reasonable amount of room back here. There is seating for 3 people, 3 seat belts. You have chrome door handles, power windows, a couple of little storage pockets here on the doors on the driver and passenger side. You also have an armrest right here that doubles as a cup holder, 2 cup holders. And of course, you have the 2 levers that I was referring to on the outside of each seat that allows you to lower the 60-40 split seats to increase your cargo space in the event that you need to haul something that is a little bit larger than just the space in the hatchback. Now let's move to the front seat. And here we are in the front seat of the Chevrolet Cruze. On the passenger side, of course, you have the glove box, a reasonable amount of space in there. The passenger seat is adjustable, but it's all manual. The driver's seat, 5-way adjustment. It's power, so that's going to be nice for the driver. On the driver's side door, you have the chrome door handle, lock and unlock buttons. Right in front of the lock and unlock buttons and the handle on the door is the button that will allow you to adjust and change the settings on your side view mirrors. All 4 of your switches for your power windows, and the switch behind that that will allow you to lock the windows if you don't want your passengers to be able to roll their windows up or down. Pockets inside the doors on the driver's and passenger side, 4 large air conditioning vents. Now this vehicle doesn't have dual zone climate control, but that's okay because it's a compact. You really don't need that in this particular vehicle. Everyone's going to stay nice and comfortable with these 4 large air conditioning vents. Headlights are controlled down here behind the steering wheel on the left-hand side, where you would expect that to be. The turn signal stalk and the controls for the high beams on the left-hand side. Everything to control the windshield wipers and your windshield washer fluid and so forth on the right-hand side. Nice large instrument cluster with tachometer, speedometer, your fuel gauge, and your temperature gauge. And of course, your information is going to be right there in the middle on the digital screen. You can put your digital speedometer on there. You can check so many different settings on the car. That's awesome. I like that a lot. On the steering wheel, of course, on the left-hand side, you have the cruise control settings. On the right-hand side, all the functionality for actually going into the screen on the dashboard and controlling everything there and going through all of your different settings, checking different things. If you want to put up your digital speedometer, you can do that there. Everything really pretty simple to kind of work your way through. I call that kind of the hunt and peck method, but it's so simple that anybody can figure it out. There is a start-stop button. This vehicle does not have a key, so as long as the driver has the remote on them or in the car, they just put their foot on the brake, push the start-stop button to turn the engine on or shut it off. In the middle here, you have the console that doubles as an armrest. There is storage underneath that. There's more storage in front of that. And then you've got these 3 buttons right here: park assist, lane keep assist, and traction control on and off. The shifter right here on the left-hand side, couple of cup holders, and right here in front of that, a little bit of space. You could probably put a little bit of something in there, something small between the 2 USB outlets and the 12-volt connection that is right there if you need to use that. And then moving up, of course, everything for controlling the air conditioner, the fan speed, the temperature, all of that right there, the hazard lights. And here in the middle, right above the hazard light button, you have the home button for your infotainment screen. You have these 2 arrow keys that allow you to toggle between stations on the radio, the volume control and a mute control right in the middle of that, and the button for answering your phone calls right there. The infotainment screen, very easy to navigate your way around. So many different settings, too much to really go through, but you can change pretty much anything you want right there. You can swipe back and forth. There's only a couple of different places you can go right there. You can control the radio, you can control the air conditioner, you can set or change the language depending on what you want to do with that, and so many other things available. So let's get this car out on the road and see how it actually handles. Before we do that, actually, let me say one more thing. You do have a steering wheel that is adjustable up and down and telescopically, so you can move it forward and away from you depending on what your needs are. A lot of nice little features here in the 2019 Chevrolet Cruze. Okay guys, we're out here on the road with the Chevrolet Cruze. And the first thing I have to say is this little car is a lot of fun to drive. It drives really well. The steering is nice and tight. I mean, it's not like a Corvette, but the steering is really nice. You know, if somebody's really smooth on the steering wheel, you can have a lot of fun driving this car. I know it only has 153 horsepower, but it's just such a smooth vehicle to drive in the way that it turns and handles corners and all that kind of stuff. It really handles very well. Of course, it's a small, compact car, so that's about what you would probably expect. But I have to say that I'm really impressed, and even with only 153 horsepower, I just had to kind of go ahead and get out and get on it a little bit in getting into traffic here on the road that I'm driving on. And it had no trouble accelerating. And you can tell that it's not made for that kind of thing, but when you need to step on it and get out in front of traffic or merge or whatever needs to be done, that's not going to be a problem. It's got plenty of power for the weight of the car, the size of the car, and it accelerates nicely. One other thing I wanted to mention about the steering wheel that I didn't mention earlier is the fact that you pretty much don't have to ever take your hands off the steering wheel while you're driving. If you need to adjust, say, the station that you're listening to or the volume of the radio, the switches to do that, the buttons to do that are located, the volume is on the right-hand side, and to toggle back and forth and search for stations is on the left-hand side. Nice and convenient, makes it very easy to drive and increases safety. Okay, we're coming up on one of my favorite stretches of this particular road. Has some curves in it, and it really will show what this car can do. I'm just going to cruise through here at the speed limit, which is currently 55 miles an hour where I am. And so, you know, you may not be able to tell as well. I kind of had to zoom the lens in a little bit more because of the big sticker in the window that talks about the car being $6,000 off this month, but that was so easy. The car doesn't really have a lot of body roll to it, very minimal. You know, it's a small car. You would expect it to handle pretty well. It's not going to handle like a sports car because it doesn't have the suspension settings for doing such a thing. But when you're cruising around town, this car is just fun to drive. I don't know why I can't stop saying that, but I'll tell you what, I think it's been more of a surprise to me than anything else that this little car is so much fun. It's agile, it's easy to get around, it's easy to park this car. And you know, if you live in a city where there's a lot of traffic, getting around in this car and getting through traffic is going to be super, super easy. And I think a lot of fun. So, like I've said, this is a great vehicle for somebody's first vehicle, especially a teen driver learning how to drive. It's not too much, but it's easy enough to drive where it's not going to be difficult for them to handle it. And you know, it'll help them to move on to bigger and better things someday in the future. But overall, I have to give this little car a really high score, actually. And that ends my time with the 2019 Chevrolet Cruze. This is the LT version, again, so you kind of know what you're looking at with this particular package. Thanks to Red River Chevrolet for loaning me this car for the day. I appreciate the management here. They take great care of me. Diane Walden, the Corvette lady, good friend. Thank you, Diane, for making this possible. If you live in or around the Northwest Louisiana area, Bossier City, Shreveport, that area, check out redriverchevy.com to see the inventory here at the dealership. Come by if you live close enough. They'll take great care of you. I had a lot of fun with this car today. It's fun to drive. If you plan on getting one of these, now is the time, because like I said, at the end of this year, they'll cease production. They won't be available anymore. You can get used models, but they won't be putting out a 2020 model of this particular car. A lot of fun to drive, easy to get around, it's nimble, it's fun. I think you'll enjoy it if this is something you're interested in. Thanks for taking the time to watch today's Vehicle Visionary, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.